Hey, welcome back to another SUPboarder review. This week we're going to be looking at the Naish Hover Crossover 120 litre. This is a multi-discipline board, so you can SUP foil it, you can windsurf foil it, and you can traditionally surf it as well. So we're going to be talking about the board shape and design, and we're also going to get Will in, who's going to talk about the foil and a bit more specifically how it was for using it for windsurf foiling and for SUP foiling. Now, with foiling definitely established in the SUP world and in many other surfing disciplines as well, it's good to see brands are making really well-made, purpose-built boards like this that you can run across many different disciplines, so normal surfing, surf foiling, and windsurf foiling as well. The specifications for this one, this is the 120 litre board. This is 7.6 long, it's 30 inches wide, it's 4.5 inches thick. It comes as standard as a quad setup, so you do get 4 fins, but you are going to have to buy the foil as an extra. Together it's pretty much just under £3,000, £2,998 I think. The board alone retails at £1,849 or about $2,000. The board and foil together weigh 14.5 kilos. It's not the lightest of weights of setups, but then you've got to remember there is foot strap plugs here, there is a windsurfing mast track also put in, which all adds a little bit more weight to the board. A quick look at the specifications for the foil. This is the extra large. This is the biggest foil that Naish make. It has a surface projected area of 1,572 centimeters, and it has a mast length of 55 centimeters. Now bear in mind, you can change different size front wings and mast lengths, but when you get them as standard, you generally get them an extra large, a large, and a medium size. So let's get the foil off the board and we'll talk a bit more about the board, the construction, and what it was like to surf traditionally, and then we'll bring Will in to talk about what it was like to use it as a SUP foiling setup. So the construction of the Hover Crossover 120 litre is the same as the other Naish boards in the line this year. Very different looks to this year's boards, all with their shiny glossy finish. They have an EPS foam core, biax glass finished around the board. There is a carbon reinforcing area under where the foil is situated. There's a full PVC wrap around the deck and rails of the board, gives it way more impact resistant. We've been using this board a while now, and we haven't really got any comments or worries about the construction of the board. It does seem to stand up to most of the general paddle marks and wear and tear that you're going to give a SUP, especially when you're getting into learning how to SUP foil. So some of the features and fittings you've got on this hover, the Crossover hover. Now this may look exactly like the other hovers on the market and in the catalogues, but bear in mind the Crossover has got quite a bit more on the board, which again, as I said, adds a little bit more to the weight. So you've got your windsurf attachments that you can put your windsurf foot straps on. It does come as standard with foot straps. You've got quite a nice size mast track. You get your pressure valve at the front, which you see on the other boards. Nice recessed carry handle, which you've got on the other boards, and then finished off with a large, super grippy diamond sort of checked EVA grip. And finished off with a nice raised kicker at the tail right at the back of the board, because this board is quite important surfing it off the tail. Now moving on to the shape and the performance of the board, probably more in the sense of actually using it in traditional surfing terms. This has got the same outline shape as the Raptor a few years ago. Maybe some subtle tweaks here and there, but basically it's pretty much the same board, and I absolutely loved that board years ago. It's a board that sometimes I don't think gets fair justice for how good it actually surfs, especially in small, slightly weaker waves. The outline really generates speed, quite parallel rails there as you can see, and it's still quite wide in the tail, so it's there, it generates a huge amount of speed for its size. It's a lot of fun when it is really small. It's got to be a little bit cleaner. It doesn't like super fat bumpy waves, but really if it's a clean small wave, this board is a huge amount of fun. Because of the fin setup at the back there, having your quad fins, it's got 4 fins. Front fins are 4.75 inch and the back fins are 4 inch. Very well fin placed, good size fins, very reactive. Before I surfed this board, the Raptor years ago, I've naturally looked at it and thought, I'm not really sure about that board, but I was amazed how responsive and quick this board feels on a wave. And this one, again, this is 120 litre, fairly biggish, and it's not the lightest of boards. It's got a bit of weight to it. It still charges down the waves, a lot of fun to surf, and I really am more than happy to surf this in a lot of conditions, but generally no more than head high. A bit more than that, you need to be a bigger person to keep the board down, because I think the board will just be moving so quick. So let's turn this board over now, get the foil on, and get Will in to tell us a bit more about how it was for windsurf foiling and for surf foiling. So we brought Will in here because you've been using a lot of foils and a few different boards lately. I've been getting into it and loving it, but Will's got way more behind it and you've learnt more about it than I have. So how have you felt the foil and board is? But let's talk about the foil itself for the SUP foiling, surfing. How's that been for you, do you think?
Yeah, the foil gives you loads of great tools to be able to easily get into foiling. So firstly, the rear wing has really great adjustment. I haven't seen another foil that has such a good system, to be honest. That gives you the ability to tune your foil a little bit and learn what you like. This is the XL wing. It's the biggest one that Naish do. You can plug in the large front wing onto this really easily, which just gives you loads of more options to tune it and tweak it and do what you want. That abracadabra system is fantastic, just really quick and easy to get the foil into the board, transport it, which is a big thing with foiling. So it's really great to see this type of innovation out there, and I'm really bought into this.
You've been using this for about 2 months, a month and a half now?
Yep.
And you haven't had any problems with it?
No, I mean, being relatively vigilant with keeping sand out of the slots. It's an interference fit, so you don't really want any small bits of sand and debris getting in there because it might jam up. Haven't had any problems.
It's like anything engineering, you just got to look after it, and and like all of the foil parts, you make sure they're well greased or lubricant on the screw threads so they don't lock up. Just that sort of stuff. You are going to have to think a bit more about looking after your equipment, aren't you?
Yeah,
being a foiler. The wind foiling, because you've been doing a bit of wind foiling now. Yep. What are the positives and the negatives? Because obviously I know this is a crossover. You've got to do lots of different disciplines with one board. What are the negatives to having this sort of setup opposed to like a proper windsurf foiling setup?
It's very much a compromise lent towards being better for SUP surfing, which means it's not quite so good for wind foiling. You've got a very short mast, which means that you have less wriggle room really when you're flying. In a windsurf scenario, things happen a lot quicker windsurfing. Most wind foil masts will be higher.
So you're more on and off the foil? Because of the length of the mast.
Yeah, and it's a surf foil. It's designed as a surf foil, which means it's a bit slower, and because it's designed to do everything, it feels a bit funny. It doesn't allow you to feel really locked in. Having said that, it gets you wind foiling. It gets you out in the water enjoying
that you
stuff.
maybe wouldn't have had a chance to do before.
And for the extra for the crossover package, that's kind of worth it, because you can go out and do an extra sport. And if you really want to get into wind foiling, you probably just go and buy a proper windsurf foil.
But this
setup.
could get you into it, couldn't it?
Absolutely.
This could start you off. Yeah.
So it's a good place to start if you're thinking, where do I want to go with my full journey? I want to try everything.
Yeah, and is it worth it? Do I want to go down that route or not? Right, cool, fantastic. And the rocker line and the width of the board for when you're surfing it and coming down and learning to foil, was that there was no problems with that? It didn't seem to catch or throw you off at any point?
Yeah, one of the things that I was conscious of is that it is a SUP surfboard, so it's got a good rail on it. As it comes off a foil and hits the water again, often the rail will catch and bite and throw you off and make life hard. But actually this board dealt with it really well.
So moving on to who do we think this will best suit? For somebody getting into SUP foiling, probably they're already a windsurfer, aren't they? If they're going to get into windsurf foiling, you're already going to be at that intermediate level. But getting into SUP foiling then, so what sort of level?
This is a really good setup for someone beginning their journey into SUP foiling. The foils, you've got lots of options obviously with the size, lots of adjustment at the back. This makes it easier. You can put smaller front foils on. The board is really nice. It's nice and stable. It's compact enough to not have that horrible swing weight. So it's really easy to fly. So yeah, really accessible piece of kit.
From the surf side, it's still a lot of fun. Great fun when a cleaner waist to shoulder high. I think if it gets choppy, just put the foil on and go foiling, but still very fast and very maneuverable. Weight wise surfing, you could get a 90 kg rider on here, and actually for SUP foiling as well, 90 kg, the foil can take it.
Absolutely, if not a bit more.
You're going to be pretty on it with your footwork at 90 kg, aren't you?
Yeah.
You think? Probably 85 kg, I think you'll be happy. Really happy on this. So to conclude with pros and cons and value for money, pros.
Really accessible bit of kit, really good starting point for foiling. You've got loads of options to go on smaller wings with the Naish setup, so it can take you through your foiling journey. And as a crossover product, it does SUP surfing and SUP foiling really well.
Yeah. Cons, what would you say from the foiling side of it?
I would say the cons for SUP foiling, I think Naish should really try to think about putting some reference points on the deck pad so you know where your feet are. I think that would be a really good place to improve the product. When you're starting out SUP foiling, you just really need to know where your feet are on the deck pad. It doesn't have any central SUP foiling foot strap positions. That would be a fantastic thing to add, although we have seen a few systems where you can use the mast track for wind foiling to add some sort of track, but
just to give you that confidence to know where your foot is, that's everything helps.
Absolutely. I think it's a really good place to start with SUP foiling, having that reference point.
Yeah.
It has been improved since last year's product. The deck pad is a little bit better for the back foot, so it's not so slippy. I think Naish were trying to have a different texture last year, but this year it's the same texture throughout the deck pad, but you've got some colour reference, but actually you don't want to have to look down at your feet.
No, you want to know you're there in the right place. Value for money then, so it is top, it's up there nearly just under £3,000, but you do get a lot of disciplines in one package, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're getting, just from the foil point of view, it's up there with price point, but you've got really great adjustment. I haven't seen a system like that.
Yeah, that is good.
It comes with a bag. The Abracadabra system makes life so easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's up there in price point, but you get what you pay for.
Yeah, and if you're looking at a full-on top-end carbon race board, well, it's not far off that anyway. So you're getting 3 disciplines in one. So actually, I don't think it's out of the league price point. It's a lot, but it's not too much if you're really into the sport. So I hope you found that SUPboarder review interesting and informative. It was good to have Will in here talking a bit about the foiling. Look out for Will, he's going to be doing a lot more stuff in front of the camera soon, touring, foiling stuff, so look out for that. But until next time, we'll see you on SUPboarder or on YouTube. Thanks very much.